Welcome to the Eco-Friendly Youth Innovation Competition. The company Big Ideas, who are partnered with The Guardian, the BBC, The Observer, King's College London, and other major organisations, have chosen this year to work alongside Chongqing City in southwestern China, whose city officials are inviting the younger generations of the world to participate in helping them to strive for positive change in the spheres of environmental sustainability and climate change. The competition itself will invite participants to focus on one of three areas of possible change in the city. Those are residential, transport, or landscape. Today we'll be focusing on the residential strand. My name's Hazel Rogers. I'm a French-British writer and editor based in London. I hold a first-class BA degree in English literature, and I've been working as a writer, editor, and ghostwriter for the past 3 years. And I'll be hosting this meeting. I'm joined by Bill Huang. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Dr. Bill Huang. I'm a Vice President of TYLIN International, China. I'm also a professor level senior architect working both in the UK and China for many projects.
Wonderful. Okay, let's get started with the presentation.
Okay, so firstly, Chongqing is one of the China 4 municipalities. It is as well one of the biggest industrial center in China, with a rich heritage, diverse and unique landscape of mountains and rivers, genuine culture, long history, and a population of 32 million. Chongqing is sitting in the southwest of China. Is also known as a very famous mountain city where Yangtze River and Jiulong River converge. Actually, Chongqing has a lot of labels. Chongqing is a, mountain city, is a waterfront city, a port city, an industrial city, a provisional capital during the Second World War. Also, now is an international city. These labels actually influence architecture and made Chongqing a very unique international metropolis as it is today. Now I will briefly introduce its urban development. Let's start with architecture history. Firstly, Hanging House. When the ancients built a city here, it would be hard to find a flat area. For ordinary people, they could only build Diaojiaolou, which is a wooden hanging house, supported by wood and bamboo poles on the rock. Those hanging houses dominated the Yutong Peninsula in the earliest skylines, then becomes a representative of the local residential architecture. Those overlapping houses, ancient paths, shady trees present the characteristics, the hierarchy of the mountain architecture. It is the beginning of the development of Chongqing urban architecture. Secondly is the guild buildings. As the city continued developing, it's become an important communication hub and the largest municipal economic center in the upper reach of Yangtze River. Because of its unique geography location, then plenty of the immigrants and the merchants poured into this city. Their influx lead a new form to have activities, which is guild buildings, the most important public building in the city. There was the social and the spiritual homes for the people from other cities and other places. And in 1891, with the establishment of the custom office in Chongqing, a large number of the foreign commercial institutions moved into Chongqing. At the same time, then brought the comprehensive world style, colonial style, Art Deco style, neoclassicism as a provisional capital city of China during the Second World War. The architecture of Republican era also became one of the characteristics of the Chongqing's architecture. One of the characteristic of Chongqing's the style is derived from the classic Chinese architecture and while incorporating the modern Western European kind of architectural styles. It is a fashion that this is a fusion of the Chinese and the Western culture, come together. At the same time, the building materials was many, combination of stone and wood with a fine decoration and carvings. Those features give Chongqing's architecture a unique appearance for the time and make it important cultural heritage. After the new China was founded, the city was transformed into the once industrial city. In the middle 60s, Chongqing was a key investment area for the heavy industry and defense industry. It's becoming the national important industrial base, particularly, because of the many people come into this area, build plants, factories, and also as a relocation of the manufacturing plants to Chongqing. There are many factory buildings spread out over the hillside and the waterfront. And now Chongqing have a brand new image, very exciting. Firstly, Chongqing Auditorium, built in 1950s. It is a masterpiece of the effective combination of the traditional Chinese palace architecture style and the long span structure of the Western architecture. It is one of the landmark of Chongqing right now. And another building complex we have to mention, is the Hongyadong. It is a new build project interpreting traditional architecture form, i.e. the Han House, which reflect the indominant human tenacity. So it's become a scenic spot with an area of 46,000 square meters. It's a unique construction. Now is regarded as an internet famous place in Chongqing. Thousands of visitors come to take photos of Hongyadong during the vacation. And another building is Huguang Guild Hall. Pictured here is representative of the Chongqing's Guild Hall architecture. It's the largest group of ancient guild hall buildings in China. The building was first built in 1759 under the regime of Emperor Qianlong in Qing Dynasty. It was created as early form of Union Hall, and then was expanded many times. So turning it into a sprawling complex of buildings, country yard, and gardens. Its style and features not only reflect the immigrants' attachment to their homeland, is also reflecting their adaptation to the local, Chongqing culture, Chongqing region. For example, when the native Chongqing house generally did not have the, fire ceiling gable, while the Huguang Guild Hall have curved fire ceiling gables that stretched in a spectacular manner. Those architectural decoration give Chongqing architecture a culture element that's of a great variety of the style. And another building blocks we have to mention is Longmenhao. After Chongqing opened its port, Archibald John Liddell, an English businessman, drove his ship, arrived in Chongqing. And the first place he stopped and operated a renowned foreign company, which also is the first foreign company in Chongqing, is Longmenhao. his book, Through the Yangtze Gorges, Trade and Travel in Western China, has created a sensation, which described his life in Chongqing. Now, the location of Longmenhao has been renovated. The design fully retained the original landscape terrain on the site. Then, following the spatial research and all the historical and cultural relics in this area, carefully restored and preserved existing artifacts on the site, all consider the space design with feature and a future commercial operations as well. You can see Longmenhao older streets convenes the design concept of the project to general public with 5 design languages: gate, name, step, dam, and courtyard. Those are important architecture elements in Chongqing. For example, the building blocks have a series of themes, each with their own characteristic doors, right? You can see from this picture, there are many doors here, each with their own style. Through each of the door, we can see the story behind it, the ancient memory of the site. So the visitor can enjoy the beauty of the city also through the design of various window frames in the building and the view platforms. In Longmenhao, you can see the beautiful light scenes, landscape, people, and lights, all the building, all integrated together, forming different urban scene. And the visitors can enjoy the blend of the historical Chongqing and the modern Chongqing. Another project, Erling Test Bed 2, which is located the highest hill of Yuzhong district. It was one of the color printing center in Chongqing, printing industry. In 2012, the whole printing factory was relocated. So the original older factory buildings was left behind. And in order to revitalize the industrial heritage, that witnessed the development of the city, the renovation work of the printing factory began in 2014. This project using the parasitic buildings as a main design concept. You can see some small buildings, building structures with a completely different style added into a larger existing building. It also preserved the architecture elements and the time marks of the different era as much as possible. So, by doing that, we turn the older factory into a culture destination. The complex with, residential, with a hotel, open space, gallery, shops, restaurant, office, studios, everything you can find there. The function transformation not only inherited the traditional culture elements, but also adapts to the needs of contemporary reality. Internationalization. Okay, Chongqing now become an international city with a wide range of modern international style buildings. For example, Raffles City was designed by international known architect Safudi, and the soon-to-be completed Luhai International Center designed by KPF. So those are very famous buildings in Chongqing. The city also have a grand plan for the future. Firstly, I want to talk about the, urban renewal. As China enter a period of the rapid urban regeneration, Chongqing is also actively dealing with the transformation and upgrading. the aim of urban regeneration is really found the right way to activate the area in order to drive it, to keep the pace with the development with a wider environment. Therefore, how to deal with the synergy of social, economic, and the environment aspects and resolve various problems in the development is a focus of the urban regeneration. And this unique project, Chang'an No. 3 Factory, make a great sense as an urban renewal practice. In this project, our design highlights the three major things: organic renewal, cultural context protection, and the functional improvement. We coordinate the four major scenarios, including industrial parks, living communities, business districts, and the culture and the tourist attractions. Through the research and the check of the building quality, the architectural style structure of the existing buildings, 43 of buildings in the area was preserved, and 37% of the buildings was renovated and upgraded, only 20% of buildings are demolished. So in our new design scheme, the newly formed architecture style highlights the fashionable green ecologic atmosphere with a modern and simple style. It is a new example of the direction this city is moving forward to, i.e. internationalized, green, intelligentized, and people-oriented. And through the above strategy, Chang'an No. 3 factories regeneration actually improves the development, the quality of the area, the quality of living environment, and the quality of life of the people. Again, I want to talk about, secondly, I want to talk about the reconnection with nature. At the time when the waterway transportation and the walking was the main means of urban transportation, urban life was really relies on the river. So riverside area was an important public activity space for the citizens. But however, the riverside space was gradually occupied by roads, docks, factories as a rapid urbanization of Chongqing. So, also there is a huge elevation difference between the urban living area and the riverside space. As a result, the river became harder to approach. Chongqing government carried out 2 rivers and 4 banks improvement project a few years ago. Now Chongqing has built increasing number of leisure facilities for residents. Without a practice, Jiulong Bund became an important riverfront activity space in the center of Chongqing. The project rebuilt a system which balances the public activities and the ecosystems. The waterfront landscape is mutual adaptation and the evolution of the nature's process and the public life. First of all, it's necessary to establish the order of ecology, society, and space. Secondly, it is essential to meet the public needs with the local features. Finally, it's required to build the unique spirit of the site. Third aspect, I want to talk a little bit about the TOD development. Due to the mountain character of Chongqing, the access of the public service and the commercial buildings in the community is relatively difficult compared to other cities. The solution, one of the solutions will be the transit-oriented development, also known as a TOD. The TOD cannot exist in isolation from the urban environment. It's an integrated part of it. So it can alleviate existing problems and integrate into the daily life of residents, making public transportation a convenient option. The model could therefore a good response to Chongqing's land constraints and difficult accessibilities. Over the next 4 years, 14 TOD sites will be built in the main city of Chongqing, helping to improve the quality of life, also as a response to the low carbon sustainable development. Fourthly, I'll talk about the green architecture. When it comes to low carbon sustainable development, the green building program is an important part of the equation. Chongqing have now put forward a series of requirements for the green development of buildings. By 2020, Chongqing fully implemented a one-star national green building evaluation for the public buildings, while also encourage, the project to complete to reach the national green building evaluation standard of 2 or 3, or above. The achievement of a green building, indicators is advocated in land, energy, resource, material, environment, and the whole construction process. So as I introduced above, Chongqing's ambitious plan for the future actually come from responding to the problems of current status quo. So in the development process of the city's architecture, the any disadvantages and the shortcomings can be transformed into opportunities and features. So Chongqing is a city that is seizing opportunity to develop and innovate. And the future of the city belongs to the younger generation, we believe. We expect the young people bring their thinking, strengths and innovative values to the city, and providing more ideas and the possibility for the development of architecture, city, and transportation, and contribute more for the sustainable development and the future of Chongqing. Thank you, Hazel.
Thank you, Dr. Huang. That was super interesting. And Chongqing is so beautiful. I've had a look online, and obviously I've read some about it, but wow, it's a beautiful place. Everywhere's so different.
Yes. I only select quite a few pictures, but we cannot use those pictures to show all the beauties of Chongqing. I only show a very small part of it.
Yeah, because it's like,
so you have to come to in person. You have to.
I would love to. My God, it would be an honor. I feel like because it's got everything in it. I feel like it's mountains, river, and everything. I don't think I've been to a city that has that kind of like diversity of landscape. So I don't really get how it, like, I can't imagine how it fits all together. I would have to see, like you said, I would have to come. Yeah.
And besides the mountain, rivers, and the buildings, the most important is the people. The people are very welcoming, and we have a very special food and a hot pot. That is
oh my God.
A lot of people love it.
Yeah, I honestly, it would be my absolute pleasure. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I'll see just if you don't think you can answer the question, then it's absolutely fine, but they're pretty kind of standard. So I want to ask, in terms of new builds, I know that you said that there's not a massive proportion of new builds because you don't demolish many and you focus on renovation, but most of the buildings which are built in Chongqing, are they residential or business focused buildings?
Thank you for the questions. Actually, in Chongqing, the high-rise residential buildings are the more common than the business building, because Chongqing is regarded as the largest city in the world in terms of the population. is
Yeah, I read that.
32
Yeah.
million people, right? So the residential is a very important part, and also is because of the city's hilly terrain and the limited land resource. So lead to construction a number of the high-rise residential complex to accommodate the growing population. You know, the residential buildings often have multiple floors and designed to maximize, you know, the available space. Of course, we also have a number of the, you know, public commercial buildings, business buildings, such as office, shopping centers, you know, gallery, museum, exhibition halls, you know, cinemas, everything. And of course, now we